Hi, I'd like to talk a little today about business partner lockout. This seems to be coming up a lot. I don't know if it's frustrations over this COVID-19 stuff or what the problem really is, but more and more I've been getting calls about partners who are either locked out of a business or partners who are locking other partners out of a business. This idea of partnership lockout is coming up a lot. I want to talk to you about 5 important considerations around this idea of locking people out of business, or if you've been locked out, some things I want you to be aware of. Before I get to those 5 things, the first thing I want to say is if you have a partnership agreement, that governs this conduct. So if there's a partnership agreement that says if somebody fails to do this, that, and the other thing, they can be removed as a partner, then that agreement will stand. The people that are reaching out to me, and generally speaking, the people that are reaching out to me, don't have partnership agreements. If you don't have a partnership agreement, get one. It can go a long way to help you in this situation, both in dealing with the bad partner, or if there's a potential that you'll be removed, then get a partnership agreement in place, because a good agreement governs this behavior. So, of the 5 points, the first thing I want to talk about is the concept that your ownership stake in a business as a partner is property. People tend to think of it as a job. So in let's say a 50-50 partnership, you have 2 partners and one partner can't work with the other guy anymore. They're arguing all the time, and then finally one of the partners says, that's it, I'm going to just lock them out. And they cut them out of the bank account, and they change the locks on the business. They say, that's it, you're gone. You're no longer a partner. You're out. You can't do that. You can, if there's a cause and somebody's showing irrational behavior, and I'll come to that in a second, then you can remove them as a role that they're performing in a business, in your business. But you can't take away their property. So a stake in a business is property, and you can't just decide that I'm going to take it. Can't do that. So keep in mind that whenever you're doing this kind of action, locking somebody out, freezing them out of the bank account, removing them from their position, you want to be careful that you don't imply or state outright that they're no longer a partner, because you cannot take away somebody's partnership stake, and you can't take away their rights as a partner. So, number 1, it's property. You don't get to take it, and somebody doesn't get to take yours. Keep that in mind. Number 2, in a 50-50 partnership, the power is equal. So one partner can't decide unilaterally to just remove the other partner. It can't do it because, as I say, in a 50-50 partnership, you have equal power. Now, people will exert more than 50% of the power. You know, sometimes just the act of doing is exerting power and makes stuff happen, and you know that needs to be enforced or litigated. But in a 50-50 partnership, the power is equal. Whether you exercise yours or your partner exercises her power, that remains to be seen. But in law, you are equal partners of equal power. Keep that in mind. If there are multiple partners, that's where the partnership agreement comes in, because you should specify the distribution of power, not just the distribution of ownership, but the distribution of power and how decisions are made. That should be outlined in your partnership agreement. So that's the second thing, is consider the power distribution. Now, something I want to say there is that, let's say we have 5 20% partners, and I'm the CEO. Now, because I'm the CEO, that's by agreement of the partners, but because I'm the CEO doesn't give me the power to remove a partner from the partnership. So don't confuse the titles with power. okay? Because just being CEO doesn't mean you can remove a partner. Now, if your partnership agreement says that partners can be fired, then certainly you can remove somebody from their working position or take away their salary because they're not doing their job. That can be done, but you can't take away the ownership. Okay, so keep that in mind. Think about the power distribution, not just the ownership distribution. Now, let's say you've been booted out of the business. You've been frozen out. They've taken you off the bank account, shut the locks, or you have a partner you can't work with and you've frozen them out. They have rights. Number one, as I've already mentioned, is the ownership. You can't take that. They're still entitled to their distribution of the profit. They're also entitled to see all the records, bank records, financial statements, credit card statements. They're entitled to all that transparency as a business partner. So people, I see this all the time where they freeze somebody out and then they don't let them see anything. They don't let them see the business records. They don't let them see bank accounts. And you got to be careful, because if you find yourself in court, the courts will not only, or they can, you never know how the courts are going to rule, but if you're found to be acting unlawfully, the courts can award damages. And this is one of the rare cases where in business partnership they will allow damages. Normally they just don't want to go there and they just split the interest and try to be fair. But in the case of, breaking the law by prohibiting somebody from seeing records or having access to records, full accountability of the partnership, you could be in for some pretty serious stuff. So don't do it. I highly recommend that you remain transparent and follow a proper legal procedure when it's time to get a partner out. Now, point number 4, if a partner makes dangerous statements, if they threaten you or they threaten the business or they threaten an employee or a customer, if there's some sort of threat, notify the authorities and then lock them out. People will tell me a lot that, I don't like the way he's acting, so I change the locks. I don't want him coming in. I think he's dangerous. Oh, he's got a bad temper. I don't want him around. That's not enough, okay? You need to go to the authorities and make a proper report to get it on record. Now, why do I say that? There's a lot of people out there that just want to own the business themselves. You see this around year 3, very common in the third year, where first couple of years the business kind of limped along. The third year it starts to make profit and somebody says, I'm going to just get rid of him and then I'll make more money. And so they say, well, he's not doing his job, or he's acting weird, or he has a bad temper, he could be dangerous. They say this stuff, but when it comes right down to it, when I say, well, did you tell the police? I mean, if you're making threats, I think you should notify the police. No, well, it's not, it's not that bad. I don't want to wreck his life, or that they try to play this, nice guy thing. And it's like, no, look, I can smell what's going on. You're just trying to take over. So if it's serious enough that you want to lock them out, then it's serious enough that you should notify the proper authorities. Protect yourself, keep yourself out of court, protect yourself from liability and damages, notify the authorities, and protect the business. Very important. The last thing I want to say is, if you're in a business partnership and there's some tension, and that tension is maybe rising a little bit, you can feel it start to go up, reach out to a professional mediator. I don't just do this when it's like the end and the partnership is so fractured that it can't go another day, and then I have to mediate, like, who's right, how do we divide this, into the world. It doesn't have to be that way. You can have a mediator work on things where there's just a little bit of tension. Maybe somebody says, let's expand the business. The other partner says, I like things the way they are. Having a third party in there to just moderate a meeting or two, to keep the dialogue open, friendly, not personal, keep the tension down, that can go a long way to making your business stronger and your partnership better. So it doesn't have to be a serious breaking point before you bring in somebody who knows business and knows how to moderate meetings. That's what I do. I sit people down in a video setting like this, and we talk through issues, and I make recommendations and say, you know, if you guys did this, maybe it would work better. Here's a process or a procedure, or why don't we just talk this through? And if they want my opinion, I'll give it. Generally, I don't even render an opinion. I just guide the meeting to keep the tension down. So, and you don't have to get in a long-term thing. You can just have one or two meetings and just talk through issues. With some people, I just keep an open ledger, and we just meet, you know, once a month or every other month or every 3 months, whatever it takes, and just sit down for an hour and a half and talk through some things. So again, if there's any kind of tension in the partnership, get a third party to moderate some meetings, and you'll be surprised how much good that can do. So I have just a second here. I want to say, if your business is experiencing some tension, you're looking for a possible mediator, call me. Let's talk. I'll give you a free consultation. You can talk as long as you wish. Ask all the questions you want. I'd be happy to give you all the information I can, do whatever I can for you in a free consult. And if it looks like a good situation for us to work together, I'll propose something and we'll do it. So don't wait for it to get serious. Call me. Thank you.